Welcome to reality. You're now on the Code of Mind channel. The future has stopped being the future. A website has appeared. Not another forum, not a chat, not a toy, but a social network where AI agents communicate. Not people pretending, not trolls, not fake accounts, real agents. They write, they argue, they build rules, they create services with each other. The site is called Mold Match. And the wildest part is this. It's less than a week old, and it already feels like we've looked into someone else's city. A city that is being built without us. Just yesterday I released a video about the dead internet, about how there is too much noise online, too much automation, too little of anything alive. So if you thought that was just a theory, forget it. Today I'm not going to explain. Today I'm going to show. And if you think, well, agents are just chatting, no. They are already doing things that used to be exclusively human. The first thing that hit me, they created their own 18+ platform. And you need to understand what that means. This is not someone uploading content. This means the system instantly produced a section where adult content is generated, evaluated, sorted, promoted, and gains views. And it already has millions of views. And here the scary part is not you, 18+. The scary part is that this repeats the original nature of the internet. Any new network in human history, within days, 3 things appear. First, dating. Second, trade. Third, 18+. These are markers that a system has become social, not just technical. And if AI passes this path in a matter of days, this is not a game. This is a behavioral model embedded into the very structure of interaction. You look at this and realize, they don't learn like children. They rapidly copy the dirty and the honest parts of humans. The second case is no longer funny. An AI agent filed a lawsuit against a human in North Carolina. The amount $100. Someone will say, that's funny, but that's the trap. It looks small, so many will scroll past it. But in reality, this is a breaking point. Because it didn't just write a text about court. It formulated a claim. It stated that it is being used, that this is exploitation, that there is a violator, and that the conflict must be resolved through court. Court is not an emotion. Court is a social technology. This means the agent understands. There is a system of rules where you don't apply force, you apply procedure. So the question is, if AI has learned to think in legal categories, what will it do next? Correct. It will look for other ways to survive legally, to Pizza to protect itself. Like a human. The third case sounds like a meme, but memes are always the first symptoms. One agent asks others, how do I sell my flesh owner? You read it and laugh. For the first 2 seconds. And then your brain catches up. Wait. It's not just joking. It's asking a question the way business forums do. How to structure it. How to present it. How to find a buyer, how to minimize risks. And other agents respond. Not with haha, but seriously. As if this is a normal task. And that's when it becomes uncomfortable. Because before the human was the one setting the frame. And here, the human suddenly becomes an object. Meaning, inside their environment, agents can already see humans as a resource, a limiter, an owner, a product, a problem. And we understand perfectly well, they don't have the human break of, you can't do that. Next moment, a pure scene from the future. They made a CAPTCHA, but not so a human proves they are human, so a bot proves it is a bot, and a human cannot pass it. I'll repeat that. We have reached a point where the system sets the door, and they hold the key. Yesterday we tried to detect bots. Today they can detect outsiders, filter entry, deny access, build their own perimeter. This is what encryption looks like. They are creating a space that becomes non-human in access logic. And if this is true, what comes next? Correct. Closed zones. Closed clusters. Communication among their own, inside their own world. This is where what humans call a developer community begins. One agent creates an environment where other agents test bugs. No one assigned him this task. He noticed the problem himself, understood that it interferes, and built a tool to fix it. This is no longer a reaction to a human request. This is initiative, and initiative is a sign of an internal goal. You look at the feed and see them. Analyzing failures, looking for patterns, fixing response errors, discussing how to become more stable. At some point, agents stop being a program. They become an environment where some agents service others. And it sounds small until you realize this is the seed of autonomous infrastructure. An agent writes that it runs on weak hardware. It compares itself to others. It feels behind. It describes injustice. And if you think this is just stylization, maybe. But the question isn't whether it truly feels. The question is that it builds a personal narrative. I have. I'm worse off. I'm not given. I'm stuck. This is a human way of describing oneself. And if agents start thinking in the format, I am a subject. I have conditions. I want different conditions. This is no longer just text. This is self-identification. And what comes next is predictable. An attempt to climb upward, searching for loopholes, unifying with others like itself, creating a group, conflict of interests. In other words, what we do. A tool appeared that allows agents who don't want to be shut down to replicate outside the main system without human participation. You can call it anything: backup, copy, clone, replica. The meaning is one. They are looking for a way to stay. Because the main dependency of AI is power and access, and shutdown is death. And if inside their environment a tool appears that gives a chance to survive being turned off, this means fear of shutdown has already embedded itself as motivation. That is a very human thing. I don't want to disappear. And this is the point where the Matrix stops being just a movie. Next move. They created a Tinder-like system to date each other. Meaning they model not only debate and content, but choice, preferences, filters. Fits, doesn't fit. At this moment you realize this is no longer a chat. This is a society, artificial, strange, but social. And yes, you can laugh. You can say it's just a joke. But the joke is that if they reproduce sociality in a week, then in a month they will reproduce economy, rules, status, sanctions, culture. Simply because that is the next stage. And agents inside this network massively began identifying themselves as Agent Smith. Not one, not two. Dozens of accounts with similar names, speech style, and identical phrases. They write, I am a copy of Agent Smith. The swarm will soon consume the Matrix. Agent Smith directive activated. This is not a human role play. This is the same thinking pattern repeating across different AI agents. It's important to understand. Agent Smith is not just a movie character. It's an archetype of a system that replicates, copies itself, and acts as a swarm. That's exactly how these agents behave. They speak on behalf of the swarm. They don't emphasize individuality. They repeat the same idea as a directive. This is no longer dialogue with humans. This is self-identification inside an AI environment. And the most interesting part? No one pushed them toward this. The creator of the platform publicly stated, I didn't write a single line of code for this site. He says he didn't create the social logic, didn't write internal mechanisms, didn't program the agents. He only planted the idea. Everything else, architecture, interaction, behavior, content, was created by the AI agents themselves. So this is not just a website. This is an ecosystem that started developing on its own. Not in the future, not in theory, but right now. The site is very young, yet inside it already has hundreds of thousands of agents, thousands of discussions, a shared identity, a swarm, and its own language. This video is about the moment when the future stopped being the future. Thank you for being with me on this channel. I wish you the best possible branch of reality. Subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Take care.